welcome to Crafting Wellbeing, where we craft together in real time. I'm Hadriana, and together we'll be colouring in this image using felt tip brush nibs marker pens. I've already started colouring this image. It's because it's part of a series of mini little tutorials where you can start on different elements if you wish. You don't need to start from the hair, even though we have done the hair before. So if I show you, there is a tutorial on the hair, which is you'll find the link to down below, as well as all the other mini videos that's connected to this project. Now, you don't need to go back and do the hair first. You can stay here with me and colouring in the skin tone first, and then go back to it afterwards. I mentioned that I will be using brush nib marker pens, and I want to show you that the brand I will be using is, can you see, it's Ink Lily pens. You don't need to have this particular one, this particular brand. You can use any brush nib marker pens that you have in your stash. Reason why I mention it is because all the numbers that I'm going to be using will be based on that brand. So if you don't have that brand, it doesn't matter. I was saying I've created this template here with the numbers that I'll be using and also what the color looks like against those numbers. So you can use similar colors, or again pick any color that you feel that you want to use, because the technique's the same. So for this one, we're going to be looking at the skin tone, as I was saying. So the colors that we're going to need is number 21, 91, 92, and for the lips we're going to need 4241R. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is, let me see if I can point in the right direction. There we go. Up here you'll find the numbers of the pens that I'm using, just in case if I'm not sounding too clearly or I've missed the number. At least you can see from up here the numbers that I am using. So hopefully that will help. So now what we're going to do, as I said, we're going to start on the skin tone. So let me just put that to the side. And I'm going to start off by holding the 21 and the middle color, which is the 91. What I'm going to do is to think about the colors. If I bring the chart back in, I'm going to think of the colors and how I want to use them. So what do I mean? I'm focusing on the 91 being the actual color of the skin, the actual tone. So then the 21 becomes the lighter part where there's more light on the face, and then the 91, as I was saying, creates that real tone of the skin. The 92 is if we decide that we need it. So we've got it there because it is a deeper color. And what that means is that we can really look at areas where we want it to look either be, underneath something or really rounded, so that it creates that. So if you think of a ball, there's elements of the other side of the ball where it will be dark because of its positioning, and on the top it will be more light because it's seeing the light more. So if I get started, as I said, I'm going to move this to the side, and I'm going to be holding the 91 and the 21. I'm going to be starting by going around the outside of the face first, and then we'll fill in the gaps afterwards. So as I say, I'm going to start with my 91, and I will be going all the way down this side to begin with. And we're going to do it in stages rather than going all the way down. Because if you go all the way down, you are chasing yourself in terms of trying to do the blending as you know, before it gets dried. And the whole idea is to enjoy the process. You don't want to be rushing all the way down in order to get there. So let's get started. If I get on with my 21, and I'm going to start, as I said, around the edges. Like this. I'm going to just start here. And to begin with, what I'm going to be doing is picking up the color. So what I mean is that the 91 at this stage just becomes the color that I pick up from my 21 to make the 21 darker, that color darker. So this is nib to nib. So I'm just brushing lightly on the nib. And then I'm going to go right into this corner up here, because I can feel that this part of her hair, of her head, her forehead, is under this strand of hair, is actually over it. So I'm just going to work on lightly going in. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is that it allows me to just gently find out where I want the shading to be. And then I can go in with the 91 to really make it darker, or in the real tone, if you like. So as you can see, what I'm doing as well is I'm pulling out the color. So I'm resting this down. I've picked up some of the 91 with my 21, and I am gently going in and just gently thinking about making this area of her face darker. Because what I'm thinking of is that this part is going to be the darker part of her face, and then this part is going to be the lighter part. So I am making a decision of where I want it to be light, rather than thinking about the direction of the light. I'm just saying that I want to have this part of her face light, and around here I feel I want to make it darker because of the way the hair is, but I'm not sure at this moment how far I want that to come. So that's the reason why we're only just focusing on this part, and then we can go back and forth. So I picked up the 21 again, the 91 with my 21, and I'm going to go down to the top of her eyebrow. And don't color the eyebrow, just leave that. I'm going to try and leave it as it is. So you can see I'm brushing a little bit. You can also do round little circles like so, if you so wish. So again, I'm just going to go back in, and I'm picking up with my 21, the 91. Okay, so now I feel I'm ready to have a really good look at down there. And now get my 91 so that I go in sort of straight in with it to make it really dark. So I'm going to go around in here, because remember I've already established that this strand is creating a shadow over that part of her forehead. You can see all I'm doing is just pulling it slightly, not too much at this stage. And then I'm going to go in with my 21, and I'm going to soften those edges. Now the key thing to remember as well whilst you're doing this, you see I'm just going between the edge of this, the way that I put down the 91, and I'm softening it with the 21. So the key thing, as I was saying, was that is to look at your pressure, because what you don't want to do is to press too hard on the page, because you lose a lot of the ink. Where all you need to do is to think about when you're putting your pen down, as soon as you see the color, you see I can see the color there, that's your pressure. Okay, so then it gives you an idea of how you're holding the pen and pressing down onto the page. And also you can see that I am really holding my pen way down, so that I've got more control over where I'm laying the color down and how I'm holding the pen to do so. So saying, you can see that it has blended in nicely. Just got the 91 in my hand, and I'm just going to make this part here because I feel I want to make this bit much more darker, like so. And to keep the darkness like that, I'm going to take my 92 and I'm going to go to the edge of where I put the 91, and I'm just softening those edges like so. Now if it wasn't blending in sort of a nice smooth blend, what I would do is I would take the 21 and pick up some of the 91 and use that from edge of where I put down the 91, and by using that pickup I can bring that color closer to the 21, because as you can see all I'll be doing is pulling the color to join it. Okay, let's keep going down her face, so remembering as much as possible, let's see, I've gone over it a bit but as much as possible to not go over eyebrow. So I'm just going to do around here for the next step. You see I'm just moving the color around, and I hope you can see what I'm doing is some nice strong sort of lines around her eye. It will go down to here, so if I just mark where we're going to, it gives you a bit of an idea. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is first of all use my 21 to pick up some of my 91, so that I'm making the 91 darker in color. And I'm going to, like I did here, I'm looking at how her face is facing more away from the light on this side. So then I'm going to take the 91 with a bit of color from the 91, sorry, with my 21, and just flick up to here to begin with. And then I want to bring a bit of her eyelids so that it looks like she's got a bit of makeup on, but really what it is the shadow that the top of the eyelids is making against here. So I'm just going to do a pick up again with my 21. I'm picking up some 91, and I'm just going to go here just slightly, and I'm doing it until I get to the other side without picking up any more of the color. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that to begin with. And I'm going to keep going down. So taking my 21, picking up some of the 91 and just going in again. Because the good thing about doing it this way as well, you are marking where you want the shadow to be. So I'm just going to go down now, the other part. And as we're going down like this, don't worry about going too fast because of it drying too quickly. This is different to what I was saying. So every time you see me picking up some of the 21, I'm actually picking up some of the 91 as well. Yeah, because when we go all the way down in one hit, then you do find that you are sort of trying to sort of catch up. But by doing it this way, you don't really worry about it drying too much. You just keep going over the colour and not worry about if it has dried. Because these are one of the things that life is too short about worrying about if it's to color, if it's gone dry on you. But at least this way it's going dry a little bit as you're doing it rather than later on. So again, I'm just making, because I feel I want to still make this area a bit darker. So now I'm going to go in with her true color, her 91, and I am going to go in here and make it darker so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just brushing in this part, along here and down here, just around the top of underneath her eye. A bit of an eyelid there, down a bit more. See, I'm just stroking on the outside of the face, down to here, down to the point where I've marked. And the other thing we want to do is to try and keep her character of her face. So what I mean by is any sort of lines like this, we want to keep it there because it creates that character, if you like, of her face. The fact that she's got a little smile. So what I'm doing is with the 21, I'm just softening those edges, just like we did up there. So I'm looking for where the 91 finished, and I'm trying with my 21 to bring it together. Now for me, I can see that this is not blending so much into the 21 as I would like. So I will be picking up some of the 91 with my 21 because it bridges the colour between them. So again, I'm going on the very edge and I'm just pulling it into there, and you can see that it's blending a bit more. Always look at what you are colouring. It won't look exactly like mine because it's yours. It will look the way that you want it to look. And where you are seeing that the colour is not dark or it's not blending in, please just do what you see in front of you until you see what you feel is right for you. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking at the side of her nose, and there is always a shadow because if you think about the nose sort of up a bit and this part of the face is down. So what I'm going to do first is to create a gentle shadow here by picking up the 91 with my 21 and going in that corner, just dipping, just thinking about the nose shape here. and just dabbing a little bit around it. And then same with the 21 without picking up anything. I'm going to the edge of where I put the 91 down. And when you see me doing this action, I'm actually pulling the edge of the 91 that I've put down there into the middle. Okay, so as I'm doing this, I feel I want to add a bit more for depth there. So to start off with, I'm taking my 21 and I'm picking up a little bit of my 91, and I'm just going to the edge like this just to pull it over, and I want it to blend a bit more. So before picking up any color, I'm just going to gently bring this in, and there. It's good to check first. I'm just assuming that it's not going to blend. Have a look to see if just going over it with your lighter color, in this case the 91, will create that blend for you. So now we're going to work our way down. We're going to do her lips separately. So I'm going to do this area down to here next. So to begin, we're going to take the 21 and just color in that area. Because the good thing is that it gives you a focal point as well of where you're coloring in and focusing on. Yeah, I'm just stroking the color down. So again, I'm looking at how her face is turning, so I know that I want this part to be dark. But now I've got the consideration of not just the hair as we have going down here. I'm also looking at her hand, how her hand is leaning on her chin, and the shadow it could make within that, and how much I want the side of her face to look behind her hands or sitting on her hands rather than in front. So to do that, I am going to start off with picking up my some of the 91 with the 21. So let's do that first. And then I'm going to start going down here as we did before, just adding some of that pickup color. So I'm going to go back in again with my 21, pick up some 91 and keep going down. Right, so just to begin with, I'm just earmarking where I want the shadow to be. I'm just going to pull this out just slightly a bit more. Now I'm going to go directly in with the 91 rather than doing the shading, because we've just done that. So I want to go in now, and I am looking at again how much I want the face to be turning this way and dark, and down here all the way down. Like so. I'm going to swap over to my 21 and soften these edges. Okay. So now that I've done this side, I now feel that I do want to use some of my darker colors, so the 92. and I'm going to use it as in making the 91 darker. So it'll be used as a pickup colour, the 92. So I'm taking the 91 and I'm picking up a little bit of the colour from 92, and I'm going to work my way from the top all the way down, just on the very edge to begin with, and see how that goes. So I'm just going, so I'll stop here and then we'll do the same thing. We'll work our way down. So what I'm doing now, I've still got the 91 in my hand. Now you're getting a bit of how I think. So like, yeah, I want to go, no, I'll just stay here. So just be careful of not going too much over where you have put down the colour, where you've picked up taken the 91 and picked up some of the 92, so that you're not taking away some of that colour. Oops, I'm going to keep it going in the same direction. And if I did want to change, it's better to do little circles like so. And bring this down a bit more. Better to do little circles like so if you want to. Okay, so now I'm going to do it the same thing again. I'm just going to darken the 91 by picking up some of the 92. And that side's getting nice and dark now. And I'm going to go further down doing the same thing, picking up some of the 92 with my 91. And remember to try and not go in over the eyebrows as much as you can. And I'm going to keep in this corner. I'm now also thinking about how I want this side of the nose to be more shady. I'm not going to pick up any more of my 92 to do that. I'm just going to go straight in with the 91, like so. And then I'm going to change and pick up my 21 to soften this bit of the 91 so it blends in. So remember, I'm going from the edge of where I've placed the 91 just to soften it into that space. So I'm going back and I'm picking up my 91 and we're going to continue down. So as we're going back, we can have a look, as I did there, go back and forth as you see it building. So I've taken my 91 and I'm picking up some of the 92 to make the colour darker, and I'm working my way down again. And bringing it in. Like so. Now this is where I want to pay attention to the marks on her face. So I'm just going over this part again. And to do that, I am going to pick up the 21, and I'm going to blend in this edge, just going with the 21, to really soften the edge using that rather than picking up any color. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on really lightening this area. It won't look light straight away, but it will come when it's a bit drier. And for me, I can already see it coming up. I'm not sure if you can see it on mine, but have a look at yours. You probably can see it coming up there already. So we're going to keep going down. Same way. Oh, not with the 21. I want to pick it, get my 91 and pick up some of my 92. And here, remember that we're looking at how the face is, this part of the chin is leaning on a hand. So I want that to be darker. Okay, now to blend that in a little bit, I am going to swap round and use my 92. Sorry, my 21, all these numbers. And just blend it here. Okay, so now as I'm here, I want to bring out that marking. I can actually see mine. So I'm going to take the same 21 and pick up some of the 91 and put just gently little dabs. So if I show you what I'm doing here, is that this is the fold and I'm actually putting the little colour underneath it here. Because you think about it, that part of your skin would go over in order to create that line. So that's what I'm focusing on here. So I am picking up some of the 92 with my 21 to get that. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like this, just picking up some more. And wait till it dries a little bit, and then we'll come back to softening it out. Okay, so for this other part, I'm going to do part of it, and then I'm going to leave you to colour in the rest and then come back so that we can, when you've done that, can come back and do the other parts, because I will be separating them because I feel that it's going to be quite a lot. So I'll be doing at least one more, see how it goes. I might have to do two because I don't want to rush it, just so that we can get, because they are quite different in the way that we look at her neck and chest area and her hand. So I'm thinking that I will do two more of this. So I've got my 91, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of the 91, just dabbing it in that area where she's parted her hair. See, I'm just gently doing it up until where it meets. Now don't put any color or anything else on there. It will dry and it will become lighter and look as if it is blended in there. If it doesn't, what you can do, I'll just go in, just get one of the colors that we use. So I'm going to pull out the 211G, and I'm going to use that to soften the edges. You can do that actually. And also you can put some of that color, some of that 211G there as well. You see, it is lightening it up. Okay, and that's the same with anywhere we put the lighter color. If we want it to be even more lighter, we'd look for much lighter color like I did there to really bring it out. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to look about up to her eye, I think, because I feel I want to at least do the eye bit, and then show how to blend the two colors on the two sides, and then you can finish off the other parts. So I am going to use some of my 21 and color in this part of her face. I'm going to go down to here, not across, just down to this part here with my 21. Now remember, I don't want to go all the way across, just a little bit of an eyebrow. And I've got the 91 in my hand, and see, yeah, let's do the pickup. So I'm going to take my 21 and pick up some of the color, the 91 color here, and I'm going to just add, just as we did here on the other side, right in the corner. Remember, I'm doing it this way first before putting down the 91, just to give myself an idea where I want the shading to be. So you're starting to think about the shape of her face, the curves. I'm going right up to the edge, and see I'm just flicking the areas. Okay, so I'm going to now turn it over, and I think I will go in with the 91 and go straight in around these areas. So what I'm doing is first of all making sure that I'm really in that space here, just stroking it. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit more, not too much. And also I'm trying to do it so I'm not leaving any space. Okay, so I'm going to swap over now to my 21 and just soften these areas here. Going from the very end of where I put down the 91, very edge, and just pulling it into the 21 area. So now what I want to do is to focus around her eye. So again, I'm going to take the 21 and just mark where I want to go. So we're not going to go over her eyelids, her eyelash rather. And just come round. We're going to do here, if I just mark it up, and around here, all the way back to here. So you've got an idea of where we're going to be focusing on. I'm just colouring in, finish colouring in that area. And again, what I'm going to be doing is doing the pickup, picking some of the 91 with my 21. And going to the edge of here. And also looking at this part underneath her eyebrow. And when I'm doing it here, it's more about creating the idea of her top of her eyelids. This area is actually sort of bulging up a little. And we have to remember her smile lines. Let's see, I am picking up some of the 91 with the 21, just to get that light shading. I feel I want to go back here a little bit as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight in with the 91, and I want to just go in this part here of her eyelid, and I'm going to go back over it with the 21 to soften that darkness. I'm going over it, and you can see hopefully on yours that it's starting to lighten up. Okay, so that's the other thing as well you can do is you can, if I go in with my 91, just a little bit under the eye, like so, I can use the 21. Now you see I'm not worried about that because I'm going to use the 21 to go over it to soften that darkness. Said I want to stay true to leaving any of these markings with just the light. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a swap over, and I've got the 91, and I'm just going to make this bit here a bit darker. Like so. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to, because I don't want this video to be too long, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my 21 and I'm going to join this part of her head, her forehead. So I'm going to do this by doing it with circles. So I'm going over where I've coloured. So I'm softening that colour. Can you see? Hopefully you can see that I'm going right over the edge of where I finished doing the colouring earlier with the 21. And I'm bringing it into the middle. So just go around. Remember to breathe. See, all I'm doing there is I'm stroking. Just the top of her eyebrows. And it's going to go around. Like so. Let's go down. Let's go all the way down to her nose. And part of her lips. Let's go down to here. And just colour this bit in. Because what I want to show you is picking up some of, using your 21 and picking up a little bit of your 91. Do the same thing, because start to make some shadows. It helps to shape the nose as well. Still using the 21 to soften it. And giving the nose some shape. By again, I picked up some of the 91 with my 21. I'm going around the edges and just doing the same thing, giving her nose some shape to it. And just over top of her lips. and like this. And now, as I'm looking at it, I find that that's a bit harsh for me. I'd like it better. I would want it to blend in a bit more. So I'm going to keep the 91 there and use my 21 to pick up some. And I'm going to just bring that in. Like so. Get a bit more. And bring it in. You can see I'm just going over those bits again. It may make your tone, your colour slightly darker, but that's fine. I'm just going down to the nose. I'm going to pick up some more of the 91 with my 21. I'm just doing some more. Oops, I'm just doing some more little touches around her eye, like here. Want to soften those areas, probably even bring it in more. And I'm trying to, as much as possible, align this. See, I'm just brushing it in. Yeah, I think I like that. And I'm going to see how it looks when it's dried. Okay. So now, what we're going to do before we finish is the lips. So I'm just picking up my 4, which is going to be the colour of the lipstick, and the 241R is to create the darker tones. So with this, we can go in straight away and just colour the whole lips with the red. Put some nice big red lipstick on. Just following that around. And we're going to use the pickup method by taking some of the 241R with the 4, and I'm going to hold it in place. And I'm just flicking around the edges first, like this, just to get the shape first of the lips. So putting it around the outside, because this will form the actual color of the lipstick. And then the 4 becomes the lighter spot, like this. I think I'm going to leave that part of her lips in the middle light, because if you think the lips does sort of stand out, isn't it, on your mouth. So I'm just going to go in and just these 2 ends, make them darker by going straight in with my 241, and then I'm going to take my my 4, and do the same thing, going right to the edge of where I put down the 241 and just blending it in. So I'm going again back straight in with my 241 and doing this side. I'm going back in with my 4 and just blending the edges. Now this is where you can come in more if you want to. So I'm just going to pick up some more of the dark. So I'm using the 4 to pick up some of the 241 and just bringing it in. A little bit down here. Okay, so we'll stop here with this one. So the key thing to remember is to look at where you feel the shadow wants to be. Now already I'm looking at it and I feel I might want to bring in the shadow a bit more, for example. Maybe here bring it more. But the best thing to do is once you get to a certain point, like I have here, but you would finish colouring the rest of her face using the same techniques. Then sort of go away from it, come back, and then you might see some other bits of shading or things that you want to add to it. It's just remembering when you do that to go through with the 21 to blend in from the insides as well. So just to be mindful when you're playing around with it. Okay, so I'm going to pause this session, and as I said, I'm going to create 2 more, one for her neck and her chest, and one for the arm. So also before we go, that you can find the original image in our Facebook group. It's a private space and you can get the link to that down below. And there's more inspiration there, including the space for you to share what you've done with our creative community, knowing that it's actually not public, it's a private group. So this is where we're going to stop, and I hope that you will continue to finish the other side of the face, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, check the link down below. Thank you. Bye. Thank you for crafting along with me. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel. You are welcome to join Crafting Wellbeing community on Facebook. The link is down below. Goodbye and see you soon.